Hello, and how are you? Today we're gonna talk about another disease, and actually, this disease, the short name for this disease is called H. pylori. Um, sometimes I have trouble pronouncing the full name, but I'm gonna try. It's Helicobacter pylori, so I like to call it H. pylori. But I'll spell it for you so you can see how it's spelled and just know it. But when I was dissecting this name, I came to find out why they call it the way they do. This bacteria is actually a bacteria that lives inside of our bodies. It looks like a helicopter. So Helicobacter pylori, if you dissect that name, you can dissect it into three pieces. Helico means helicopter because it does look like a helicopter. And bacter comes from bacteria. So it's a helicopter looking bacteria that digs holes in your stomach. So pylori is a Latin name for something that digs holes, anyway. You got enough about the description. So it looks like a helicopter. It lives inside of our gut. And this is one of the bacteria that we are actually born with. I was looking at research, and research science was trying to figure out how this bacteria comes into our stomachs, because that's where it lives. And so many theories that maybe from when we are children, we are running around picking objects and putting them in our mouth. They think that's how the bacteria comes into our stomach, but actually that's not true. So we all have bacteria. I know people have been sanitizing and cleaning and sanitizing, but actually our whole bodies, they're covered with bacteria. So we have bacteria on the outside and on the inside. Every opening in your body has bacteria. That's how we operate. That's how we were made. These bacteria, some of them are there to keep us healthy. And we do have good and bad bacteria. And the good and the bad, they have a balance, and they are there to keep us healthy. So this H. pylori bacteria is actually there to keep us healthy. But now when we are under stress, we can have bacteria overgrowth. And what happens is when this bacteria has an overgrowth in your stomach, it starts producing a lot of hydrochloric acid, which is, it makes your stomach more, I guess the acidic becomes too much, and it starts burning the lining of your stomach. That's how people develop ulcers, bleeding ulcers, and all that stuff. So most people who suffer from this bacteria, they have nausea. That's one of some of the symptoms they experience. They have indigestion. They have loss of appetite. They have burning pain in their stomach. So abdominal pain is one of the other signs. Bloating, burping a lot. And this bacteria, if it's not treated, it can cause a lot of damage in your stomach. So it can dig holes in the lining of your stomach and cause you to bleed. That's how people get gastric ulcers. It can also go on to cause gastric cancer. So it's not a good bacteria. I actually had a friend who developed stomach cancer many years ago, and when they checked him out, the first thing they tested him for was this bacteria, and he had it. So before they could even think about treating the cancer, they had to treat the bacteria itself. Now, the way we treat this bacteria, we have to put you on maybe, and don't quote me on this, we have to put you on 2 types of antibiotics for 2 weeks, and a proton pump inhibitor. A proton pump inhibitor is something to prevent the gastric acid production, because remember I said the bacteria itself helps in acid production in the body. So, and that kind of irritates the body. It irritates the lining of the stomach. So we have to give you like something to reduce that acid. And most of the time, the one that works is a proton pump inhibitor, or a PPI. Examples of that is omeprazole, Prilosec, Nexium, Prevacid, Protonix. Protonix is cheap and is used a lot. So this is a very expensive disease, and it's also very troublesome because the treatment takes a long time. You know, the PPI, we have to give you that for 4 weeks. The antibiotic we give you for 2 weeks. And sometimes the bacteria you might be cured, but sometimes it could come back. So the way I look at it, I think everybody has this bacteria, but when you are under stress, you can have bacteria overgrowth, and that's when it starts causing problems. If you are not under stress, if your body is healthy, your mind is healthy, your body will be healthy, and this bacteria will be kept in check. Somebody was telling me that 75% of the bacteria that we have are helpful or healthy bacteria, good bugs that keep us healthy, and 25% are the bad bacteria that can make us sick. But as long as they don't have bacteria overgrowth, we never get sick. So that's how that works. Now, I don't know why I was trying to tell you about this bacteria, but 60% of the world population is actually infected with it. They have bacteria overgrowth because, you know, everybody has it. And the only reason we don't feel it is because we don't have the bacteria overgrowth. 60% of the world population, that is a large number of people. And from what the scientists are looking at, they think it's a silent killer that lives inside of our stomachs. So we have to be careful. We cannot let stress get the better of us, because if it does, then we're gonna get sick with this bacteria. Now, if you have ever suffered this kind of bacteria, you need to get in touch with me so we can talk about how you can keep the bacteria at a check to make sure that you're not having bacteria overgrowth and end up getting stomach ulcers, end up getting bleeding ulcers, or even gastric cancer. The friend of mine that I was telling you about, he actually passed away from that gastric cancer. And at the time that this happened, I did not understand how diseases and the way we live our lives kind of contributed to our health. So I could not help him. But now that I understand, I can help someone. So get in touch with me or register for my school in September. These are some of the things we'll be talking about. And actually, we're going to start our talk with cancer. The whole of September, we're going to be talking about cancer prevention and healing. And so this will get you ready for the cancer month in October. Thank you, and God bless you.